freedom of speech. What is it? Freedom of speech is the right to speak, write, share ideas and opinions without facing punishment from the government. So how did freedom of speech get made? Well, according to History.com,
the ancient Greeks pioneered free speech as a democratic principle. The ancient Greek word pyrrhesia means free speech, or to speak candidly. The term first appeared in Greek literature around the end of the 5th century BC. During the classical period, pyrrhesia became a fundamental part of the democracy of Athens. Leaders, philosophers, playwrights and everyday Athenians were free to openly discuss politics and religion and to criticize the government in some settings.
The First Amendment protects freedom of speech, which I think is cool. Big thumbs up to you guys. So, is freedom of speech important? Yeah. Freedom of speech allows you to say what you want to say. I mean, look at protest. And man, a lot of people protest for different things. Like teachers wanting more pay, Black Lives Matter, and let's not forget about the abortion protests that happened last year. So yeah, freedom of speech is very important. So how do we use freedom of speech? Well, like I said, sometimes we protest, sometimes we make books, and sometimes we make movies about freedom of speech. You can use freedom of speech however you want, and I just think that's kind of cool. Unless if you're using freedom of speech to, I don't know, hurt people to get what you want, then you can do whatever you want. So allow me to talk a little about the First Amendment. What does it do for us? Well, it protects our right of free speech. This means the government does not have the right to forbid us from saying what we want to say. So now let me show you an example of freedom of speech. A movie example to be exact. Let's go for, why not? Gremlins 2, the new batch. Yes, this is a very silly movie. But there is one scene in the movie I want to talk about. The talk show scene with the main villain, Brain Gremlin. Yes, that's really his name. Look, I didn't make the movie, okay? Well, I wish I did. I picked this scene because I think it ties back to freedom of speech. So let's watch.
I think the main question that people have is, Creature, what is it that you want?
Fred, what we want is, I think, what everyone wants and what you and your viewers have. Civilization.
Yes, but what sort of civilization are you speaking of, Creature?
The niceties, Fred, the fine points. Diplomacy, compassion, standards, manners, tradition. That's what we're reaching toward. Oh, we may stumble along the way, but civilization, yes. The Geneva Convention, chamber music, Susan Sontag. Everything your society has worked so hard to accomplish over the centuries, that's what we aspire to. We want to be civilized. I mean, you take a look at this fellow here.
Now, yeah, it's a goofy scene, but I think it's just interesting. What do you think? So, why should we even care about freedom of speech? Well, I think we should care because a lot of rights people have are because of freedom of speech. I mean, look at what Martin Luther King did. The man did a lot. So, in conclusion, what did we learn? We learned that the First Amendment protects freedom of speech. I showed you a movie example where freedom of speech is used. And I told you how we use freedom of speech. So that's gonna wrap up today's video. Did you learn anything? Well, I hope you did, because if you didn't, then I wasted a whole weekend making this video. But I think you did learn something. So, I hope you have a good day, and remember, you always have freedom of speech.